Good evening, and welcome to tonight's virtual information session sponsored by Davidson-Davie Community College. My name is William Pass, and I am a recruiter and an admissions counselor at Davidson-Davie Community College. Please be reminded that tonight's information session is being broadcast live via Zoom and on Facebook, and will be recorded for future review of the broadcast. Tonight's information session will highlight Davidson-Davie Community College truck driving training program. We are so pleased and so honored to have Miss Melissa Sneed with us. Melissa is one of the great support staff that we have for our truck driving training program. She's going to provide some valuable information to us. As everyone knows, logistics and transportation is a big industry, very much needed in the area. The training that's given through Davidson-Davie Community College, outstanding. You'll get the training that you needed, job guaranteed. So I am going to turn it over to Melissa in just a second. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them in our chat. And at the conclusion of Melissa's presentation, we'll be sure to answer all of your questions. So with no further ado, Melissa, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Sounds good. Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Melissa. I'm administrative support staff with Davidson-Davie Community College and the truck driver training program. Tonight, I'll be talking about the truck driver training program, the admissions process, and everything that you would need to do to get started in that program. First, welcome, everybody. The truck driver training program is offered 5 times per year. We typically offer these classes in January, March, May, August, and October. A class just started on the 16th of May. So the next class that we have that we'll be registering for will begin on August the 15th. And then the class that follows that will start on October the 17th. And again, we would have a class in January and from there. The registration process, if you are interested in applying for that, then you certainly can go to our website. You can also contact me, and all of that information will be at the end of this PowerPoint as well as to how you can reach out and contact me. But I would walk you through the process. You would get your documents to me, which I will discuss as well. And then I'll be happy to help you get into the program. This is a little bit of statistics on just the trucking industry. Of course, this has changed somewhat. It changes, yearly, and you know now the need for truck drivers is more than ever to get, the products that we use daily to and from so that we can live. And we're seeing a shortage. We're seeing the need is just grown exponentially. We just need truck drivers. The salary and the money that you can make, certainly is there. It talks a little bit about first-year drivers can realistically expect to make $40,000 to $50,000 a year. A driver with 2 or more years experience can make as much as $60,000 to $70,000 a year. And this does fluctuate somewhat depending on where you go to work, the employer, how much you make per mile, different things like that, whether you're local, regional, over the road, or long haul. So that will vary, but you can see there that there's quite a bit of money involved there for your income. Working as a long haul truck driver is a major lifestyle change. I try to tell the students, you do need to consider this. If you are wanting to drive a truck, then you certainly do need to think about your lifestyle, your home, your children, what you're going to do with your children while you're gone. If you're over the road, then of course you're going to be gone for quite some time. So you do need to make those plans and provisions, have those provisions in place for if you do plan to do that. So I always try to, talk to the students and just let them know that, it's more than just hopping in a truck and going. You do have to plan for home as well. You could be gone for days or weeks, depending on, what position that you do take. It's a great opportunity for women. We are seeing more and more women every single class in wanting to register for truck driving. So ladies out there that want to drive trucks, yes, women do drive trucks, and they're very successful at it. So I am putting women in trucks every single class almost. So that has grown. Team driving, of course, that can increase your income, especially for spouses. So definitely a good thing to get into. We train with a wide variety of equipment, and here you can see some of our trucks, and we've added new trucks to this. So you have your doubles, you see the refrigerated trucks, different things like that. That's just a few that we have, and obviously we have more. And we've got some that are newly wrapped, so those are really cool to look at as well. The facilities where you would do your truck driving, and this question comes up every single class. Where will I go? Is it on which campus is it at? The truck driving class is taught on the Davie campus in Mocksville. We have a truck yard located there, as you can see right there. And the address I send out to every single student so that because they always show up to the actual campus in the admin building wanting to know, looking around, where's the trucks at? So we have a truck yard that's not very far from the campus, and the address would be sent to you. So yes, it is on the Davie campus in Mocksville. I was going to go over this as well. As you can see, the truck yard, you can see some of the trucks there. We do have a refrigerator, microwave for students. They can bring your lunch because this course is 8 weeks. So obviously eating out for 8 weeks when some of you may not be working because you're in class during the daytime hours, that can get kind of expensive. So you can pack your lunch. We do have accommodations there for you to heat up your lunch or whatever in the break room. We have the paved training grounds, modern classroom capabilities, and all of that. The instructors have an average of 20 plus years experience in the industry, and it's more than that. So these are just a few of the things that some of the instructors have experience in: dry van, refrigerated, tanker, doubles, flatbed, heavy equipment hauling, and towing. These are a few of our recruiters that come and talk to the students, and we do have that question asked as well. Do recruiters come and talk to the students? Will I be guaranteed a job? Well, the guaranteed a job is up to you. We do not offer the job placement. However, we do offer the opportunity to speak to recruiters that come in and can talk to you about particular jobs or, something you may be interested in. We do not place you in a job, but we do have the outreaches there for you if you have an interest, and the instructors are more than happy to talk to you about particular, positions or whatever. So there's all different recruiters that might come in from different companies. Some even offer tuition reimbursement. Over the road, regional typically may pay better, and there are typically more positions that are available. There's opportunities for, again, team, solo, over the road, regional, local. It just depends. I've had just this week, and we're just Tuesday now, I guess. I've had about 5 companies call me wanting to know when our drivers were going to be done with the class we just started, ready. So yes, there's jobs out there. This is just a breakdown of somewhat of what the class would be. It's 380 hours, and this just breaks down classroom instructions, approximately 60 hours, behind the wheels, approximately 25 hours, tractor observation time, approximately 75 hours, backing and driving, approximately 100, miscellaneous, approximately 120, giving us a total of 380. And of course, if you're having issues with any of these, the instructors will give you the time that you need to make sure that you're adequately prepared for the testing when that does come. And we are a third-party testing facility, which means all aspects of the CDL test will be done with our instructors. So you do not have to test at the DMV. Instead, you will test with your instructor, take your certificate to the DMV, and pay the fee there, get your CDL license. These are just a little bit of information. Whenever you're filling out your paperwork, you would want to use your full legal name on all of your documentation, your driver's license, your permit, that kind of thing. To get into the program, you're going to have to fill out a couple of applications. Those two applications are here. You can see one is going to be the North Carolina Residency Determination, or RDS. So you're going to hear me say that a lot. If you're working with me, have you filled out the RDS? That's very important. It's required for all North Carolina community colleges, and everyone has to do it. So it's not just you think I'm the only one doing this. I've always lived in North Carolina since I was born, whatever. We all have to do it. So yes, it is a requirement. And also the application to Davidson-Davie as well, which is the CFNC application. These are just a few of the requirements. And if you go on, a lot of times students think that whenever they go in and they request information or get something from enrollment, they think they're automatically registered for the course. That is not the case. You have to actually come through me to be registered for this course because there are documents that I have to have, and there's federal guidelines that are obviously followed with this being a trucking program. And I have to make sure that all of those are followed. So here are a list of the requirements that I would need. And if you go in and apply for the CFNC, you're going to be automatically generated a response from enrollment that is going to have information similar to this, but that does not mean you are registered, because at the bottom of that, it's going to tell you to contact Melissa Sneed, just to ensure that you have met all the requirements through me. So one of the things is going to be complete the RDS, or residency determination. The other is going to be submit the application and enter either spring, summer, fall, whatever term you're entering. You're going to have to present to me the DOT physical, the certificate portion of that. That is what I would need of that is the certificate portion of your DOT physical. And that can be obtained through different physicians do those. Chiropractors do those. CVS Minute Clinic does those. Novant Health walk-ins do those. And I can give you more information on where you can obtain that as well. You have to possess a valid Class A CDL permit. And some students will call me and say, well, the DMV says I can't do that. I assure you, you can. You can go and you can get the learner's permit, but we have to have that in order to be in the class. Another little bit of confusion that the students have is, well, why do I have to have the permit? Isn't that what I'm coming to the class for? Well, the class is going to train you to obtain your license. To get into the class and drive, you have to have a permit. I always tell students, think of it like you're 15 years old again and you're driving with a parent. You have to have that permit to drive. It's no different for the trucks. You have to have the permit to drive those trucks. So that is why you have to go get that ahead of time. And I have some really good study links that I can email you if you're having questions about where do I find the book, where do I download the information. Some DMVs have the books and some don't. I've not had any luck finding any that do. A couple of students have found some. So it's really just going to be by chance if you find one, honestly. But I can provide you with a lot of really good links that the students tend to say that work well. I have to have a copy of the front and back of your driver's license. And then you have to register for the FMCSA or the clearinghouse through an FMCSA website. And that is a federal guideline. You are not allowed to be in the class without that. So that is very important. Again, this is just a little bit more about the DOT physical. It has to be by a federally approved doctor. A lot of times students will say, well, I'm going to get my physical next week. I'll just bring that to you. Well, a lot of times that's not going to work. It has to be a federally approved doctor with a DOT specific physical. And I can help you find one in your area. If you email me, I'll be happy to find one. And this is just kind of an example of what your long form might look like. Again, I don't need this. I can just use the certificate portion that's going to come at the very end of this form. And they all look different, so it's probably not going to look exactly like this. It just depends on where you go. The DOT certificate, That will be issued to you at the actual doctor's office. So we won't give you that. They actually have those on site there at the doctor's office. And so you won't have to worry about picking those up with us. And this is a little bit about what the physical would look like, or the DOT certificate. But it's very important that whenever you go to the DMV, and I haven't seen this a lot lately, probably since when everything changed a little bit with COVID. But if you go obtain your DOT physical before you go and get your permit, you're probably going to be in pretty good standing and won't have a restriction put on your permit. If you go get the permit first, they likely will put a K on there. And that just lets us know that you have not got your physical yet. So you want to probably try to go on and get that physical first, just to avoid having to go back to the DMV, because that's where I'm going to send you is right back there. A couple of students have got by with it, and the DMV didn't catch it, but I would suggest, just to make sure, just go get the physical first and then go get your permit. That way you don't have any issues with restrictions. Of course, this is kind of what a permit might look like. The drug testing form, I'm going to send every student for drug testing prior to class starting. So you have to go within a 30-day window of the class starting, and I would do that. I can work on all registration before class, before the 30-day window, but I just can't send you for the drug test just yet. So I have some students I'm working with for August already. The drug test would come mid-July. This is a little bit about our tuition and fees. The total is around $1,633, and that is going to fluctuate a little bit depending on book cost. And the books are, they're apt to change depending on what book we're using at that time. But this is just a breakdown of the cost. Also, a little bit about this has to be paid prior to class starting. So whether you're paying out of pocket or you're going through a third party or whatever, this has to be paid. Your tuition and fees are due before the class actually starts. So that is part of your registration. A little bit more about this is we do offer third students some information on third party, and that would be like through NC Works. A lot of times, employers will pay, and that would be considered a third party. But I give every single student that requests information, I give them NC Works contact number for them to go to their information sessions and find out more to see if they qualify. I try to tell students it can't hurt to see if you qualify, and certainly, all they can do is say no. So I tell students, just try. And so I do give every single student that contact information, and then they can reach out from there. There's also the Targeted Assistance Scholarship that is offered through it goes through financial aid, and you would have to qualify for that as well. That is done specific times of the year. So I don't think they have any more for this particular time. You'd have to wait till fall. So I tell students, if they are interested in that, they have to pretty much request that. That's not sent out to every student. That would be as requested, do you offer a scholarship, and then we would do that. So certainly it's available to any student that qualifies. I just do it by request if they do need it or want to know about it. So if you have any more questions or information, then certainly you can visit the website, and the website is listed there. And then my phone number is 336-249-8186 at extension 6337 or email. And I respond to every single phone call, every single email. So certainly if you do want to reach out to me, certainly do. I will be happy to answer any questions that you might have and get you enrolled in our next program. And also, William, I will add, we did have a few changes take place that if you received your permit after February 7th, you have to go through the class. You're not able to just test out and receive your CDLs. So you will see some changes going forward with the students when they call. We also offer Class B options. I did not have that in this PowerPoint. The Class B is a continuing education option, which it's about 2.5 weeks. And that is, we have an evening weekend as well as a daytime. So that's a good option for students as well. Of course, you're limited to what the B would allow you to drive. Also, we have hazmat endorsement, or we have hazmat training. We have passenger endorsement. There's other things that we have, and all of that would be on our website as well.
Melissa, great job. I see that Jeff has just joined us, but I can tell you firsthand the patience that y'all took with getting me my CDLs to operate the enrollment van there. So you took the time, which is really needed, I think, in this field. I think for the cost that Davidson-Davie charges for truck driving is a lot less, probably is double for a lot of the other training providers that give you that fast 30-day type of training. That's good in some cases. I understand people have to get to work, but you're operating a vehicle. I don't know how many tons it is. This is no joke or whatever. You know, you need to take the time that y'all really expend in teaching the students how to drive. It's really necessary. So I, as a driver on the road, appreciate the time and efforts that y'all give to anybody who comes on board. But before I do have like around 5 different questions, but I want to see if Jeff wanted to add anything to what you've already shared with us, Melissa. Jeff, you have anything you want to share?
I was trying to get my audio up. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm a little late to the party.
You're never late.
Fashionably very late.
You're right on time. That's right. You're right on time.
How did it go?
It's good. We're doing good. I think he's got a few questions. He had asked if you had anything you wanted to add.
Not right now. No.
Okay.
Okay, I'll just start with the questions. Okay, my first question is, what are my chances of obtaining a local truck driving job right after school?
They're good, especially if you're willing to do some physical work, because it might be a delivery type job. So there are local opportunities out there, but a good number of them are going to require some physical work.
Okay, great. Will I be trained on making repairs to the refrigeration equipment if I'm employed with someone that has a truck that has refrigeration equipment?
No, not especially as far as repair. Now, the companies that are running refrigerated trailers, they will teach the student or the driver how to operate those units, but there's really not much to it. You either put it in heat mode, cool mode, and you adjust the thermostat. It's almost like the temperature in your car, the temperature in your house. You set it and just keep an eye on it. But we really don't train on that. That's more company specific.
Okay, great. Will I be able to take a tour of your facility before signing up?
Oh, absolutely. If they can just call or email myself or Melissa, and we'll be glad to have them come out and take a tour.
What happens if I fail the driving test? Will I be given another opportunity, or will I have to go through the class again?
Generally, there are. We set it up where you have some opportunities for retest. It's an 8-week course, and we try to start doing the CDL test around week 6 or early part of week 7. So that allows time for generally 2 or 3, maybe 3 or 4 retests or other attempts.
Great, great. Okay, and the last question, if I have a criminal record, does that restrict me from gaining employment as a truck driver?
For the most part, no. I would say a large percentage of our students, have prior convictions, and even, felonies, that sort of thing. There are a lot of companies out there that will still hire them. So no, I would not say that it restricts them. There's numerous opportunities there for those people.
Great. Just a question of mine. What are the most challenging parts of your training that you see most students will have to struggle with? I know for me, it'll probably be the backing of the trailer. What do you see as being the most challenging part?
Two things, shifting and backing. Shifting being if you opt to go with a manual transmission. More and more of our students are opting to train and test with an automatic transmission. Most of the companies now, their trucks all their new trucks are automatic transmission. So if you opt to go automatic, you take out the shifting component of it, and now your focus is really on the backing.
Okay. Would you suggest to I guess give you more opportunities for employment that a student test on both automatic and straight drive?
That's changing, it seems, by the day. A couple of years ago, I would have probably recommended that they at least try the manual. At this point, I don't think there's enough difference in the opportunities. I would say if you want to lessen your stress level and lessen the learning curve, just opt to go automatic. Unless you have a specific company you're going to work for that requires manual, I wouldn't subject myself to that additional stress and training. I would go with the automatic. It's much easier on your body as well. If you're like myself and kind of old and decrepit, or if maybe you just have, some health issues, the automatic is much easier. You're far less tired at the end of the day.
And you may have had this in your PowerPoint list, I can't remember. With the night driving, is there a certain amount of hours that they have to complete doing night driving? How does that work?
Right now, we do not do the night driving. That you'll get when you go to work for the company that you choose to go to work for. We're as of right now strictly daytime training, because honestly, you need to get your fundamentals when you can see where that trailer's at and see where those obstacles are. And once you get those fundamentals down and you know how to maneuver the vehicle, then driving at night is really not a big deal.
Okay, great. That's all the questions that I see at this time. To you both, Melissa and Jeff, again, thank you for all the time, the energy, the knowledge that you're passing on to I know it's a big industry, to the students who are looking to get into this field. It can be a career job for you. You can really earn a lot of money, especially I know young people who don't have those commitments, that's wanting to do a lot of traveling. It's a great opportunity for you to really go into it. So again, I appreciate you. If anyone has any more questions, as Melissa had pointed to earlier, the process with as far as enrolling with the college and doing your application for the truck driving training program. If you have any questions, again, please feel free to give Melissa or Jeff or contact myself. We'll be more than happy to kind of guide you in the right direction so we can get you signed up as soon as possible, because I'm sure those classes fill up very soon or whatever, but we'll do everything possible so we can get you into hopefully the next available class. Again, I want to thank everyone who joined us. Melissa, Jeff, again, thank you. I hope everyone has a great evening. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact Davidson-Davie Community College. Thank you very much.
Thank you.